Hello, I'd like to show you how to use an effector to affect parameters other than position, scale, rotation, and color with cloner objects. Let's create a cube to start to show an example of this. And what I want to do is I want to animate cube clones that have different fillet radii. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to drop this cube into a cloner. I'm going to move these on the x-axis. Okay, and now let's, with this cloner object selected, let's create a plane effector. By default, the plane effector affects the y in position. I'm going to change this first by changing the fall off from infinite to linear. This linear fall off is facing in the z, so I want to change that to plus x. I'm going to increase the fall off to 100%, just so we have a nice gradual change, and then I'm going to stretch this out. So now if I drag this on the x-axis, you can see it has this fall off that is going from 0 to 100 in the y-axis. Okay, I want to use this same plane effector to affect the fillet radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the cube, and I'm going to label these. This is going to be the start cube. This is going to be the end cube. And I'm going to turn on the fillet on the start cube. And in my start state, I'm going to set it to 0. If I didn't turn this on, it would have an abrupt change and it wouldn't be smooth. So I want to make sure that my fillet is set on or turned on and then have it set to 0. With this one, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm just going to go with the default of 40 centimeters. Now what I'd like to do is set the cloner's clones mode from iterate to blend. Okay, I am certainly moving in the right direction. I want to go from this state to this state, but I want it to happen on a per instance basis. If I was to drag this here, well, first it's not doing what I want. I need to change the modify clone parameter here from 0% to 100. Oh, oops, I don't know what I just did there. Yeah, so you can see if as I'm dragging it, let me turn this position off just so it's clear what's going on here. It's affecting the fillet radius, but this last one is the end of this cloner. I'm going to call this the blend cloner. It's the end of this 3 count, so it's going from start to end, and this is already fully blended. So by the time I drag, this plane effector over here, it's trying to blend something that's already been blended. So I'm going to show you how you would fix this. First, you change the count to 1, and then we're going to drop this blend cloner into another cloner. Let me create a material just so it's easier to see what's going on here. Okay, now on this cloner that's just set to iterate, the default mode, I'm going to change the y to 0 again and then space these out. Well, let's do, say, 5 cubes here. And now if I drag my plane effector, it's doing what I want. It's transitioning between this parameter for fillet radius. So this is also something you can do with, I'm going to change these. I'm going to turn off the fillet, and I want to show another example. You can also use deformer objects. So if I wanted to grab something like twist, and then I'm going to drop this under my end cube. I also want to add this to the start cube so it can see what needs to change between the start and end state. And in my end state, I'm going to change this to, say, I don't know, something like 60 something. And then I'm going to now drag my my plane effector, and you can see it's now modifying the angle of the twist deformers. All right, and in one final example, I created, I'd seen this example online that was doing kind of what I wanted it to do. It was using the inheritance effector, but it was really complex and I didn't need all that functionality. All I really wanted to see was how to change parameters such as start and end growth or whatever. And in this example, I have a sweep NURBS that I've created that is going from 0% in the end growth to 100% in the end growth. And if I move this plane effector, which I have animated, it's transitioning between that blend between the two end growth states. I also have a material on this with a color shader, which is applying this white color to these as this plane effector passes. And the plane effector just has the color mode set to on, so it's going from black, no color, to this color shader color. So that's a way you would transition color and then still be able to like keep stuff like specular or reflection or whatever else you want to add. So that's it. That is how you affect other parameters with effectors for your clone instances. And hope it was helpful, and thank you for watching.